Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome and good evening, and thank you for joining tonight on another session of Talking Sip. Let me turn this off. Don't want that there. And those on Instagram, thank you for joining. Those on Facebook, thank you for joining. Those on YouTube, thank you for joining. I had to get a mic that comes down at me so I can get the quality of my sound very powerful. Let me do like that, like that, like that. Do the camera like that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is another evening, another Saturday evening. Turn this music down. Can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly? It's another Saturday evening, 17th of the 9th, 2022. Big thing which is happening in the UK now, which is vigils for late Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. II, who passed away last week. We did a show. I was there last Friday night. People are queuing over 12 hours, nearly 24 hours to pay their respect. That even psychologists now are actually doing a study as to what is happening. There are two type of people they're realizing: those who are wanting to experience the penitence or penitence or whatever like that, to show that they're actually um, doing something of some level of sacrifice, and some just want to be there because of an experience of something big. And this is something big, bigger than anything. Actually, people are making a comparison with Princess Diana to say that the flowers of Princess Diana St. James Palace was much bigger. But they said no, actually. They keep taking up the flowers at at Buckingham Palace. And I tend to agree with that, because I was at Buckingham Palace last week, Friday, and what I realized and what I noticed was that there are flowers all over. Flowers are all over the gates. And when I look of recent days, the flowers are gone. So they keep taking up the flowers. But at Princess Diana, at St. James Palace, the flowers were all over the place, totally all over the place, and it was left there for a while. So I understand that. So they've been taking, and of the thousands of people who are actually, what should I say, making the vigil down there, you know, though, I mean, that's, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we can hear from persons later as to what their views are, you know, but that's thousands, maybe even come to millions of people who are actually, you know, wanting to pay their respect to the Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. And King Charles, I must say, of recent days, I've gotten a pen. So therefore, he's not angry anymore with the pen of being annoyed. But hey, what am I drinking? I'm sorry, actually, I'm not drinking any wine or anything big or anything. I'm just having sparkling. Crystal punch is what I'm having. Crystal punch. I like to know what are people having as well. Having crystal punch. Yep. Crystal punch. Here we are. Cheers. And I would encourage you to share this and to let some persons know. Tonight, actually, at the second stage of the show, my plan is to have Chief Richard Curry from the Maroons tonight on the show. All being well. Chief Richard Curry, first among equals, head of state, Trelawney Town, Maroons of Cockpit Country, as there are some rumblings going on there in Cockpit Country. Yeah. So therefore, he's going to be coming on tonight. And the key topic really is, does the monarch block excellence? Does the monarch block black excellence? That's a topic. Does the monarch block black excellence? Because if one is watching Black Twitter world, one is familiar with what is going on now, one will realize there are many people who are licking out, if that's the right word. Many people who are licking out against the Queen, you know, licking out against the monarch, and saying, "Well, I'm nothing to mourn about." Blah blah blah. You know, even this lady, this professor in the USA, she's of Nigerian, somebody Una. She made some damning remarks about the Queen when she was on her deathbed. That was really harsh, you know. It's not for me to repeat it, but many people know that, and I think it was a bit very harsh what the lady said, but it is a question, it is a discussion that must be had, and it is not something that one can sort of scoff away, dismiss and say it is not relevant. It is all relevant, because some people mourn in different ways, and some people don't want to mourn, or some people don't want to think about mourning, or some people want to cuss and go on bad, rant, rave, and misbehave. That is their right. That is their fundamental right, if that's what they want to do. But why I brought up this bit here about, does the monarch block black excellence, is many people are actually of the view that in order for the black community to reach to a high level, there need to be reparations. There need to be an apology, right? There need to be these things. That's what persons are saying. Let me just say something to D. D, how are you? D, can you send? I don't know if you saw my message. I sent you a message to send something to Jody, because apparently she's having a difficulty with her phone. I couldn't get around to that, but if you can actually see the message which I sent you and see if you can send her something, I would appreciate that very much. Um, Let me see. Did I send it? Yes. Can you send? No, I sent it to you. I sent a message to you. I sent you her email address and send her the thing that you want. If you check the message, and I sent you, um, let me see, because I'm not in a position to do that now. Um, she just need the links to be emailed to her, which I sent you. So yes, let me just WhatsApp me. Let me know if you understand what I sent you. Um, the key thing is, do you need reparations or do you need an apology to be successful? Yeah, to have excellence of black excellence, do you need that? Um, Many people, it's there. The email is there. The email is there. Look, 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 look. There, there. Scroll up. The email is there. It's there. Look, um, you know, and so when I hear a lot of these discussions, I have to draw the conclusion that, is it that it's a mental blockage? Is it a mental blockage, or is it that you actually need that money, that apology to move on? And why I say that is because I'm seeing high level of black excellence everywhere, and I don't have to list them. I'm not talking about Oprah Winfrey or Tyler Perry or um, you know Kanye West and all these geniuses which are out there. But right there in our community, Atlanta, Georgia, I know we use a lot the litmus test America, if anything. Well, right here in the UK, you got great black excellence. People are doing fantastic things. People are in your neighborhood. Who are the people in your neighborhood? They are the people that you meet each day. Right in your neighborhood, you got people who are doing fantastic and doing great things. Do you need that reparation? Do you need that what should I say? That apology to have black excellence? I thank you very much. Thank you. I do believe though that the monarch have questions to answer, you know, from the sins of the fathers, have questions to answer, and maybe to make some sort of restitution in some respect. But until then, and if that doesn't happen, what happens? Do we sit back? Do we wait? And do we say, until such comes our way, then we won't be successful? I beg to differ. I was saying something to someone earlier today when I was on my walk and talk motivational moments. I said very clearly, and I said very powerfully, that if there are obstacles in your way, yeah, if obstacles are in your way, what you should do is stand upon those obstacles and use it as a platform and chant and say the sky is the start. Not even the sky's the limit. The sky is the start. You know. Well, let's look at the black. Let's look at. I did a video. I don't think I'll be able to show the video, but I did a video. Well, I didn't do a video, but I saw Prince Charles talking to a young black boy, man, young gentleman, at a university or somewhere in, is it Scotland? And they had this long chat with the guy, and it was like the king and the king having a conversation, the king and the young king having a conversation. And if one check out Prince Charles, who is now the King Charles, and I use the Prince Charles first because it was Prince first, and because Prince Charles is also what do you call it? He was head of the Prince's Trust, right? And the Prince's Trust, what I understand, did a lot of work for persons who were trying to get a leg up. And when I say a leg up, need to get some help, especially within the black community. I think Idris Elba benefited from him. I think Ed Sheeran benefited from him, and uh, and he somehow play a very fundamental part with the riches that he has. Prince's Trust. I'm going to look for it. Anyone can look for it. The Prince's Trust, right? And the Prince's Trust is a charity in the United Kingdom. I'll read it on it as well. Let me just turn this thing down. Where? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Remember, in around 35 minutes or so, I'll be joined with Chief Richard Curry from the Maroons. There he is. He's supposed to join me later today. Make sure you tune in and you stay there. Don't go anywhere. Share the video. First, going to talk about the what's going on in the Maroons and their compound. Very interesting thing. But the Prince's Trust, ladies and gentlemen, is a charity in the United Kingdom founded in 1976 by King Charles III, then the Prince of Wales, to help vulnerable young people get their lives on track. It supports 11 to 30-year-olds who are unemployed and those struggling at school and at risk of exclusion. Many of the young people helped by the trust are in or leaving care, facing issues such as homelessness or mental health problems, or have been in trouble with the law. It runs a wide range of training programs providing practical and financial support to build young people's confidence and motivation. Each year, they work with about 60,000 young people, with 3 in 4 moving on to employment, education, volunteering, or training. In 1999, the numerous trust charities were brought together as the Prince's Trust and was acknowledged by Queen Elizabeth II at a ceremony in Buckingham Palace, where she granted it a royal charter. The following year, it devolved in Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, other English regions, but overall control remained in London. The Prince's Trust fundraising and campaign events are often hosted and feature entertainers from around the world. In 2011, the youth charity Fairbridge became part of the trust. In 2015, Prince's Trust International was launched to collaborate with other charities and organizations in other countries, mostly Commonwealth nations, to help people in these countries. The Prince's Trust is one of the most successful funding organizations in the UK, and the UK leading youth charity, having helped over 950,000 young people to turn their lives around, created 125,000 entrepreneurs, and given business support to 395,000 people in the UK from 2006 to 2016. Its work for the youth has been worth an estimated £1.4 billion. In 2019, the Prince's Trust signed a partnership with Her Majesty Department of Health and Social Care to support 10,000 young people 16 to 30 years old and social care jobs. The initiative aimed to future-proof the sector, provide employment opportunities to young people, and support the department widening participation goals, increasing the diversity of its workforce. The question which I put there is this: what do you think about the Monarch at this time? Yeah. What do you think about the Monarch? Do you think the Monarch um, is a blocking? Does it block black excellence? Hmm? Does it? Michelle, welcome. Wayne, welcome. Pete Samuels, welcome. Light speaker, welcome. Yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining the show. Um, I'm throwing the questions out there, and the question is simply this: does the Monarch block black excellence? Does it? Yeah. And at the same time, remember, at in about 30 minutes, I'll be joined by Chief Richard Curry, and of course, I think it's poignant. I think it is maybe it's all about royalty. At the same time, it's all about history, legacies, reparation. We talk about apology. I mean, the King Charles III, Prince of Wales. Listen, when you think about it in a way, and I was thinking about it today, the amount of money that Prince of Wales have inherited, yeah, the amount of money that King Charles have inherited, you wonder when people are having hard times like now, very hard times, that level of money, should that money be somewhat devolved as well and devolved onto the people, shouldn't it? I don't know. But that is something which is worth thinking about. Many people are saying it's time now to get rid of the monarch. Is the monarch a block to black excellence? Does it make a difference? Yeah. Do will it stop you from becoming this great person that you want to be? Does it? I'd love to hear your views, love to hear your comments on that. Definitely, I would appreciate it. And of course, if you want to join in on the show, I will give you the link, and I'll post the link, and the link is going to be right here. Let me see if I can find it. So join the discussion. I think when I have Mr. Curry, I'm going to want to have that one-on-one conversation with him, and then to see what he says about people joining. I might have Vanessa McLean to join in that. But what I put up there now, I put up the link. If persons want to join in on the show, you can join in on the show. If you're on Instagram, then in order to see the full picture, then you'll have to come over onto YouTube and pop over onto Facebook as well, where you can actually see. All right, Vanessa, if you're ready, let me know. Put your thumbs up anytime you're ready. Let me see something. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Ready like Freddy. Okay. Let me see something. Hey, Vanessa. Can I hear your voice?
Hello.
Ah, good. That's most important for me, because if I just see you smiling and no sound, I'm saying is there sound, because I was having some technicalities. That is why I was about 5 minutes late today. I was having some technical hitches. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm doing well.
Yes. I seen you singing down the place though.
Yeah. You gotta sing, because that's part of Jamaican culture, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely. Well, welcome for joining. And I don't know, I'm just drinking water today, Vanessa. I mean, I had a long day today. I'm just having crystal punch. Did you forget to drink it?
I got my drink, man.
You got your drink.
And here, I
And
got some coconut water here.
coconut. Hey, I'm not gonna mention the name of what you have there, You see the name on it?
I have something else with it.
Huh?
I have something else with it too.
You have something else with it. No, it's a name. It's the name of the organization that you have there. Which
This one as well.
uh, All right, all right. I saw a young chap, a video which is going around. He's at Buckingham Palace having nine, and he asked them for tea. He asked them for Manish water, and they said they don't have Manish water, they have tea, and he said, I don't want a tea. So he went in back pocket and pick out a flask just like that of rum, and he started to drink it, and then he started to shake like, and I could swear, Vanessa, it is bishop music in the background I play. I I would say if I if I can find it, it is chief music in the background playing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna try and find it because I put it on. I think I put it. I don't know if I put it on TikTok or I put it on Instagram, but it is really funny. I don't know if you have seen it, Vanessa, but you need to see it actually. But
You can send it to me so I can get to have a look.
this is the Queen's nine. This is the Queen's nine. This is having
And we
nine.
have Rika online, and we have Michelle Clark as guest
Rika is
coming
here.
on the side there. Good
Oh, Rika
night,
is there.
blessings, Michelle and Rika, the online crew.
The online crew.
Just
I'm trying.
reminding them to share it on their pages, please.
Yes,
Invite your friends.
yes, most definitely. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Mm,
Come on, Rob.
I hear it.
That is that is. But anyway, listen. What's we haven't spoke about. What's your thoughts on the passing of the Queen?
Um, it means many things to many people.
Yeah.
As the queen is a person who is part of a larger organization, a larger culture, and she means many things to many people. To me, when I was a little girl, used to talk about two queens. You know, you cuss out somebody in Jamaica, you used to say you think you're Queen Elizabeth or Queen of Sheba.
Okay.
So to me, Queen of Sheba was very beautiful, and so was Queen Elizabeth. And they
Uh,
represent different parts of the spectrums who are
mm,
sometimes at odds and sometimes at war. There's Africa, there's the United Kingdom. People were selling slaves, people were buying slaves. So from that perspective, those two queens come from the buying and the selling of slaves,
mm,
and a culture that was permitted at the time. And the queen is often seen as a figurehead of that.
mm,
And people would say that the queen should have, apologized about the slavery. And as I said, there are two sides of the coins, those who have
mm,
sold and those who have bought. But for me, the queen represents, for example, you talk about Queen Elizabeth, she was very queenly. She was a very decent, dignified, quiet spoken. I'm speaking about her taking the politics away from the
yeah,
queen. Um, she was a very decent, dignified lady who spoke, and she said, "Your Majesty, Queen."
yeah,
She
yeah.
had this very queenly voice, and she always spoke well and dressed well. And her personality was of a quiet nature, except symbolically, she represented the United Kingdom. She represents the old tradition and the new tradition and what it is to be UK. And because she lived so long,
Mm,
um, she's known as the Queen and possibly the Queen.
mm,
So the crown that she wore was very heavy, symbolically and physically, because I'm sure when you wear a crown, you do not agree with many things under that crown, but because of the political nature of the crown, you have to get on with it. And some people solve their battles behind closed doors, and some people come on. I don't know what the Queen was doing behind closed door. But one
mm.
thing I would say as well, remember the history of how the Queen got onto the on the throne was that there was an abdication because someone had married.
An American lady came back in the scene.
An American lady came back in the scene. There was an abdication to which he took up, and then finding herself in the same shoes as the with her own son, she now changed the rules because sometimes tradition have to change, and I'm glad that something prompted them to change the rule. because I think you should marry who you love. And the root of some of the things that we're gonna be angrily discussing, I'm sure it will cause a lot of controversy, is that changing of the role of the queen. So for me, she represents many things. But I would say to her, she was a woman to me. She was a mother. She was a grandmother. She was the great grandmother of Meghan Markle's children. Meghan Markle is a black woman. I would say, rest in peace, rest in power, Your Majesty. You now have black offsprings. So how that's the best way to go down if you're gonna go down. Rest in power. She's a true African now.
It's true. Well, I mean, Prince Charles, when he had a problem with the pen, a few people said to me, he must have some links with Jamaica, because on the Jamaica said that move that stinking pen.
Am I like right?
He said move that pen out of the way, and then people are trying to say it was rude to Camilla. I said the guy just lost his mother and he's just annoyed with.
Yeah,
I know what fountain
he
pen.
is a man.
Fountain.
He is a man. He is a man like everyone else.
I know what fountain pen can be. Fountain pen, when the ink gets out, it can really mess you up completely. And that's just what he was just annoyed about. So he got his own pen. But listen, I coined this before. Chief Curry's gonna come on later. But I coined this bit here because a lot of people are actually saying the apology. It's like everybody has come out of the woodwork. Oliver Samuel's come out of the woodwork. Failington, everybody's coming out of the woodwork talking about apology, and they mentioned about the 47 million or the 20 million or so that the slave owners got when slavery was abolished. And of course, black people didn't get anything. And even the 12 days of mourning, which I don't understand where they got the 12 days from, because the mourning is going to stop in Jamaica on the day of the funeral. So I don't know where they got this 12 days from. And everybody.
Well, I've been following social media.
Yeah.
And what I see going on is I've heard some rumors that someone says is there a PNP conference somewhere within the 12 days calculation? Was there or is there? Is the PNP conference looming or has it taken place?
I don't know. So what has that got to do with the
because well, if your opponent is having a conference, politically speaking, if I was to politically advise either party, I would say, well, you keep something to upstage or to overshadow the conference, and either parties would do it for political mileage. None of them are better than the other. But I don't know when this conference is. But I've seen.
Sorry, Lester just came on a while ago. He said tomorrow is the PNP conference.
Yes. So basically, the whole thing is, the whole thing is, and then the 12 days. I mean, I guess it's our country, and if they want to set the rules that way, I guess that's the way.
I still don't. I'm sorry. I still don't get it. But let's ask Lester what he says before. What Lester mean by you having an echo, boss? You always an echo. Because you on top. You know, on year 12. Can we just hear one of you?
Yeah, hear echo?
Turn off your speaker. You got a speaker on.
No, maybe headphone.
Yeah, take the headphone off.
The headphone is always.
You still hear it?
Yeah.
You still hear it?
Plug it out the computer. Plug it out.
You need to plug it out of whatever you.
Plug it out. I'm a phone up.
It's gone. It's gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
So you're in Jamaica for the PNP conference. Is that what you're saying?
No, but I just sent you photos of the pre-setting up of the PNP conference, sir. Didn't you see the video? No, sir.
So what has this got to do with the 12 days of mourning?
No, the lady the queen just died, and the mourning coming the same week that the PNP normally keep them conference. But persons were asking the PNP not to. I don't know if it is the government, but persons were asking the PNP not to keep their conference in respect to the mourning period of the Queen. But Mark Golden, the Honorable Mark Golden, decided that he will still go ahead, which I think they should. They should still go ahead with the conference.
That's I still don't see the the whole thing with the 12 days and all that come into play there.
What do you mean
But
you don't see the thing with the 12 days? What exactly you mean?
no, people are saying 12 days of mourning and they're cussing out Andrew, but I can't see the figures where it's 12 days. Because the mourning finishes on the day of the funeral, just like in the UK.
Okay.
So I don't see
Is it the
12
fact
days
that our
come from.
holidays are when is our holidays? If we give an holiday, the holiday for something is spent on the day it's actually given by law. How our holiday laws are set up is the holiday is normally given. So if you're giving a day for the Queen's funeral because she is symbolic, and it has to be declared legally as a holiday. So if it's gonna be over a time that is not holiday, then you would have to give. Is that what it is? I'm not sure. I'm just trying to find out.
We're observing the same amount of time that England is observing.
That's what I saw. So I don't
If
see what was the
if
who
you
are.
count the days, right? It's the same
Yeah.
thing. But what I'm saying, Silburn, I'm tired of the public, John Public, majoring in minor things.
Why is it always John? Why are you so sexist? You're a Mary Public.
Sir,
Always
I don't
John
make the
why?
rules, sir. I don't make the rules.
Okay, go on.
So Vita was man, sir.
Where is
Charlotte
Vita?
Horse?
Eh?
Where is Sister
Hold
Vita?
on.
So Misha,
Yes, where is Sister
Where,
Vita?
where go start?
Vita is tending to family matters.
Okay,
She,
she's in London for the Queen's funeral, I guess. Yes.
She's at the Queen.
Yes. I know Vita important like that, because she's a queen as well. So
yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Queen support. I tell her something. Queens support queens.
True.
Yes.
Even if we have to tell them off for the atrocities they have committed in their lifetime, there's a part of us that support them as queen, mother, and woman. Because there's a part of me that sympathizes with the queen as a woman and as a mother and as a grandmother. And there's the other part of me that looks at where she sits politically, and I'm angry about some things.
Yeah. Let's go back to that point that Lester said something about he's tired of something. Lester?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a special guest at the Netherlands, Mr. International. But it's okay. The people are major and minor. Right? But Silbert, I even heard you said about the money that slave owners were paid when slavery was abolished and stuff like that. Listen, them duly get them money because it's a business, right? I'm not saying if it's right or wrong, the act of slavery, no. But these guys were running a business, right? And they were.
They said they suit them out today. well, one is in black and one is. Let's say everybody's in black. I guess we're all mourning for the Queen, isn't it?
So there's a lot of comments here from Claudine. I guess Silbert will read them from the.
Yes, I need to go to them after.
But I think that Jamaicans should focus on Jamaica. Now, this whole period of mourning with the Queen is ceremonial. If you don't want to partake, you don't partake. You don't have to comment, you don't have to watch it, you don't have to do any of this, right?
Perhaps it's a celebration. That's why they're keeping it longer. Perhaps Jamaicans see it as a celebration for which they are going to keep. Somebody is keeping a nina as well. So they're going to kill goat, keep soup, and they're going. Perhaps some Jamaicans see it as a very happy time that they are burying the relics of slavery and those who are symbolics thereof. So it could be that they are not mourning. We have never mourned like Europeans do. In any case, when people die, we celebrate their death. It's we have a party. What you would call we do it differently. We grieve in a different way. Those who are grieving will grieve, and those who are happy, they will beat their drum and sing.
To each is his own.
Yeah.
I mean, we just need to get on with the business of Jamaica. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah. But what about the question was that does the Monarch block black excellence? The Monarch, because many people are believing that they need that apology and they need that reparation in order for them to be
Claudine here on the thing says regarding the monarchy, I think it affects country as a whole, not just black excellence. If it should be if it should be reparation to those countries, how much would it really impact on those countries? So they say that this person has a view. You want to pick up
the Monarch is a part is a part of the G8 and the G20 grouping.
Mm.
So anything outside of that, right? The United Kingdom are not friends with them. So
But
it's not
she was
even
part of the
about,
Commonwealth, though.
huh?
Queen is the
Structurally
head of the
speaking,
Commonwealth.
structurally speaking, we
No,
are
no, no.
part of the
No, no,
Commonwealth.
no, 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 no. But how we are benefit? How we really are
Okay,
benefit?
that's a separate issue.
Yeah, but what I'm
But
saying,
the
no,
Mm.
Queen,
but
the Queen's
no,
role.
but you have to listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying the monarch or the United Kingdom is a part of the G8 and also the G20 grouping of countries. Now, anything outside of that, they are not friends with them. So the United
Mm.
Kingdom will always do things that will benefit within the grouping of them.
But let me ask you this though. Structurally speak, constitutionally speaking, the G20 is different from the Commonwealth in relation to its political structure and its role. I am saying that for the Commonwealth, she is the Queen is head of the Commonwealth of which Jamaica is a part of, but it has not benefited us because we have not for example Jamaicans the Queen, well, our Queen, then, since she's our Queen for the purpose of the Commonwealth, would fail us because we need visas to come to England. Still, the Queen has never said anything that my dear Jamaicans, you shouldn't have any
Mm.
visas.
But you know why the visa stopped, Venison? You know why the visa came
Things
in? You
and
know why
time has changed. The rules have changed to meet.
No, it wasn't the rules. Well, it is the rules, of
Yeah.
course, eventually, but it was because of the drugs.
Okay. I tell you what. That's
I
why
will.
I say time as things have changed. Jamaica,
Yes.
in terms of how we behave, has changed. Since they have changed the rules for Charles, so he can be a divorcee and get married. Since Jamaicans are now the greatest musicians on earth, they are winning gold medals, and Jamaicans in the diaspora, the majority of us are very positive persons. And if you go to the British courthouses, the British people too are into drugs as well. They're doing wrongdoings. I do not think the Jamaicans should have been singled out. And if so, over the years we have changed in terms of our behavior and so on. And I've not heard the Queen advocating for us by virtue of the fact that us proud Commonwealth nation, who has made us so proud in terms of all our accomplishments, has been doing well, and then we should be rewarded. But if it's time when we do anything bad, then then they're willing to cut us off. And don't forget, when you speak about drugs is an economic crime. And by virtue of the fact that we are slave descendants who have suffered in terms of our economy because of slavery, I mean, things cannot be separated when you're going to judge people, block them out, cast a blot on them, and you are part of the making of the miserable history and the miserable future and the
Guys,
miserable present that we
guys,
are.
guys, I'd love to stay on top, but I have to boogie.
You got to book it down. All
Yeah,
right, go on, book it
yeah,
down.
mega drive.
Okay, go on, book it down. Yes, Vanessa, you're saying.
I was
Let's
saying
go. Yeah.
that it is
Mm.
not right as drug. You hinted that the drug peddling was part of it. I am saying that
Mm.
the drug is an economic crime. Drug dealing is an economic crime. And I am saying that you cannot separate poverty from crimes and the commission of crimes, even on a global level. And to
Mm.
where our country is today, even all of the people are migrating, they're leaving because the countries who had a head start because they had sold and bought slaves had a head start of the rest of us who, and we have been put in a predicament which we've not been able to get out of. We've made some headway, but we've not totally
Yes.
gotten out of the situation. So it is not fair, without trying to help us as you are part of our structure, to then condemn
Mm.
us and put harsh laws and harsh penalties against us when you are part of our problems that we're having today, because the world is just set up upside down, not suiting the black nation of black people, including Jamaica.
Let's look what Claudia says. She said there are things that happen in history that affected the progress and growth of black people, and some of these things will have a negative impact on the black community today. I do believe reparation could have a positive impact. Um, could have a positive impact on the black community. I can't see the fullness of this on the black community. Um, what's your what do you champion the cause for reparation?
I do. I do
Yes.
champion the cause for reparations. However, um, I don't know whether reparations should be in the form of cash, so corrupt people who have been put there in a corrupt manner from the ending of
Mm,
slavery, and the persons who were
yeah.
so put there have been given an equal footing as the persons who put them there. I don't know, and I do not think that it should be in a wad of cash that corrupt persons can get their hands on. I think the reparations, for example, could be used in terms of infrastructure. We owe debt to China. I think England could help us to pay off some of our debts and wipe off some of our debts and put things in place in the country instead of giving raw cash that some persons are just waiting, because there have been corrupt people, whether regardless of color. There are corrupt people everywhere in white countries, in black countries, and some of them, they will do the equivalent of what the slave masters do. They will rob us and they will rape that reparations, and we will not see a dollar of it if we're not careful. So
Right.
I would
So
use it
yeah.
differently. Yeah,
So you mean to say you'd like it to be
in a
received or
different
to be
in a
described
different
in a
way.
different
Yeah.
way? But many people are arguing that reparation is being done in many ways by default, like the Prince's Trust, like the way how the World Bank and all those
No, 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 no,
places
no,
are.
no, no,
Well,
no, 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 no. If
I'm
no,
just,
no, 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 no. I do not for once buy that, because
yes.
reparations is, for example, it would be a direct healing process, and
Mm,
it has to come in that package. This has to come and say this is for reparations. Therefore, there
mm,
has to be a method of calculating it. And that's a problem that we're having in terms, you're giving there, you're giving here, and then you say, okay, you could take it for that. But no, it has to say reparations. This hospital is built in terms of reparations. All the bad roads in Jamaica is built by England, and all the
yeah.
new train services that will come in England, because we need new train services, would be because of reparations. And we would calculate all the monies that they're going to give, and we would say what they are exactly going to, because our roads
So
could do
what?
with some fixing from the reparations
Yeah.
money, for example, schools.
Right. Right. So what you're actually saying then, in a way, is that just like how Germany is paying a lot of money to the Jews still, you know that, since the war, and everybody apologized, and there's no doubt about it, and they're paying through their teeth to the Jews still. You're trying to say is that it need to be very clear and specific
Yeah.
that it is
We're
reparation,
to cause
not
the
something to
healing.
do.
Reformation is
Yeah.
not just about money. Yes, we need the money
Mm,
because of the poverty that's gone on because of slavery. But we also, if somebody's really done you wrong, I've been told sorry by people before, and it breathes fresh air. So it would come with an apology letter to say that because of slavery and because of what we recognize that we have caused, because it's an admission, and people will not admit to slavery or that there was slavery. So therefore, a certain type of racism, slavery is comes from racism. So therefore, you cannot get the racism out of the society, because there has been no
mm,
apology, despite the forms of quote unquote some types of laws and things of that nature. There is no proper apology. It means you're not sorry, and you will continue
mm,
under the quiet to do things to these people when you can get away with it. That's how I feel.
yes. Well, what Michelle is actually saying is about reclamation. Reclamation takes it to another level, and reclamation is actually, where is it? The process of claiming something back or reasserting a right, the reclamation of our shared history. Think about that for a second. Reclamation. Isn't that what people are asking for when they see the Queen and they see all of these lots of jewels? Horniman Museum in the UK has been giving back a lot of money back. I mean, artifacts back to Benin and to Nigeria.
Yes, I do believe that that is fair. And as for the queen, I just think the woman really wanted to be an African. She wanted to be a Nubian queen, so she was just wearing African jewelry. If you ask me about the Queen personally, I think that she she wanted to be one of us so badly that she's been wearing our symbols. You see me? This is me. I'm born in Jamaica, but I want to be with Africa, so I wear the symbols. So I can't blame the Queen, and she has been given an advantage of getting her hands on some of them, so she's not going to give it back. How many women would give that a rare diamond if they got hold of it in their ears? You want to blame the Queen?
Do people think that the reason why a lot of this discussion is coming up now is because when the Queen was alive, it wasn't that much because the Queen was this lovely, nice lady.
Yes.
So nobody wanted to vote. But now she's gone. Now they say Prince Charles.
We're waiting to bury the Queen. A lot of us are waiting to bury the Queen.
Prince Charles is going to be the guy.
Tuesday morning will be the morning. Yeah, Tuesday morning will be the morning because Charles is not his mom, and Charles has got his own deeds, and they're separate in relation to Diana. And he will also pay for Meghan's sin and the way Meghan has been treated. And you know, the Queen, that's why I said her personality let her get away with a lot of things, because she was a very quiet, kind of dignified woman. And I'm just saying that Tuesday morning is the morning that a lot of us will rise up. I mean, you don't wreck people's homes and take their husbands and become queen, princess, consort. And you don't steal people's jewelries and steal their history and think you can get away with it. You're a man. It's going to sit on your shoulder different from how it will sit on Mama's shoulder. So we are waiting. We're waiting. Because we are hoping that King Charles will have the balls to apologize for slavery, will have the balls to give back the reparations, and to have the balls to do what is right in terms of even what he has done to his children's mother. I wonder if it's gonna be any different if he's not sorry about that. So the kind of king that we have. So we are waiting for Tuesday morning. We'll give the Queen her last respect.
So what we're saying then is it is not just the history and the atrocities of slavery, but it's also who Charles is and the way he treated Princess Diana and her children.
And that is how the world is, Silburn. People will, even if you're the Queen and you're the head of the most evil empire in history, and you come across, symbolically, that's what you represent, but your personality comes across as being dignified, people will treat you as that. But for those who come in an undignified manner because of how they have treated people in the past, personally, they will be dealt with differently. So if Charles wishes to be judged differently, he knows what to do. He needs to cough up the reparations. He needs to apologize for slavery. He needs to advocate for giving us back some of the all of the things that have been looted and stolen. And as for Lady Diana, she has not she's not resting in peace, because all the women of the world sympathize with her. And only to see that this new princess was a home wrecker, Camilla.
Yes. Well. Let's see how that unfold really, because you know the Prince William, where many people are saying actually should really have gotten the kingship, and he should have bypassed Charles. But then that whole pressure
is going to come on. I'm glad he's there. He's not going to get away. He's going to sit there and take it.
He's going to get away.
I'm happy. I am so happy that the crown now rests on his head and he's not in the farmhouse eating the money and enjoying Camilla. And you know, he is as a man, he is gonna reign as a king and do what is right. I'm hoping to see that from King Charles. I hope I see that from him. I have very high expectations of him.
Yes. So therefore, would people say then that it is not that the monarch block black excellence, but the monarch can actually spur on more black excellence? Is that what we're talking about?
They could, if Charles were to interpret his political role and his symbolic role that way. Charles is not a grandfather of black children. So let us see if he's going to continue with the old tradition of blocking black excellence from the palace, stripping them of their title, because we all know it's because of the race of their mother.
I think they got it. I think they got.
and they
I
got
think they
it
said they're
back.
going to
Let
be
us
called
see
Prince.
if he will continue to uphold the slackness in terms of the racism, the symbolic racism in that institution, or he will be a different king. We don't know him. We might see a different Charles who in terms of race relations and PR for the monarchy it would be better. I'm hoping that will be. His mother never did, but that is not to say he wouldn't. So I'm happy he's on the throne so we can solve the issue of Diana and solve the issue of the reparations. I've got many things that I want Charles to do, and I'd like people to come forward in terms of their lobby and their conversations about what we expect from King Charles, because we can't just leave it to King Charles. We've got to tell him what we want, and we've got to start early. So he knows he needs a letter, and he needs a long list of what we expect of him as king.
Well, Scotty says Vanessa, they are Naxes. Ask Ginger. I don't know, is it Ginger?
Nazis.
But I know that
Ginger
Prince,
is Harry.
Yeah. Well, I know that Prince the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip was German,
Is Scotty
part
not coming
German.
on?
Scotty never come on. Scotty just stays on the sideline there and bat.
Okay.
I'm waiting on Chief to comes in, but he just messaged me a while ago. So there's rain falling in Jamaica hard. Sophie, is rain is falling in Jamaica? Whoever's in Jamaica, is rain falling?
Depends on the parish. Where he is in the cockpit, isn't he?
Yeah. And what is coming out? Somebody just sent me, I think Michelle just sent me a video, which I've seen many times before. The video is about the ships, the name of the ships, which were very much involved in the transatlantic slavery movement. One of my thinking is that, a lot of people like now are waking up to the reality of the fact that Jamaica is not independent. And Oliver Samuel said it in an indirect way when he said, I don't understand this. When independence means to say we are free to do what we want to do, why are we celebrating 12 days of mourning? And I said, Oliver, thank God you just wake up. You're not woke. You're awake finally. Because every time you come to the UK, you're enjoying going to Catford and all those
places. They are celebrating. If you give Jamaicans a month to celebrate the Queen's death as a holiday, they will have the best holiday ever. Because a lot of Jamaicans are cocking their foot up, laughing and celebrating the Queen's death. I mean, I can't say I'm one of them, because as you hear my own personal views, is that I've got multiple views and an open mind about the Queen from different perspectives. I view her from different perspectives. But a lot of Jamaicans, for example, the Rastafarians have said Babylon's throne has fallen. Babylon, your throne fall. I'm sure the Bingy Yards will be beating the drums.
So it's like Black Hawk's Dawn. It is when Harry was that. It started when Harry started to play those drums.
It was his brother, in it.
It was William.
Because if Harry was playing the drums,
yeah,
that would be fine. But
yes, it was William playing the drum. It was William playing the drum with Babsy Grange there along.
But I tell you something. That is to tell you that if people were exposed to a culture enough and started mixing in that culture, it is possible that the other one could have married a black woman as well. If he was allowed to be exposed enough to a culture, they would start beating the drums, eating the food, marrying the women. And this is just to tell us that the Queen died. What I'm happy for is the Queen died knowing that love knows no colors, love knows no boundaries, and people are people. And what you haven't done, your grandchildren will set a very good example of you to do what Harry has done. And it is so sad that the Queen never saw what Harry was trying to do. Well, he was trying to correct a lot of the mishaps with his own choice of woman.
Well, it is very clear now that in light of the death of the Queen and in light of Meghan and the children, you're going to see a complete shift and a complete diversity of the royal family. But the big question that many people are actually talking about is when, and this is it, the inheritance that William has got, no tax is going to pay on these things, right? The double standard, the level of hypocrisy that many people are going to be talking about with the royal family. That is why many are now pushing, like Republicans are now pushing for the dismantling of the monarch. It's not just a Jamaica thing. It's not just a Caribbean thing or a Commonwealth thing. It is also within the UK. But with the the show of love which has been out there with people shaking the king's hand, and with
And one
Harry,
woman
the one
kissing
that said,
the king. He got a
and
kiss.
one woman jumping and kissing the king, and you're gonna say this is not going to happen for this
It's
generation
not going
because
to.
they love it.
It's not
Yeah,
going to
they love
happen
it.
because I tell you what I respect about England, and I wish we
Yeah,
would take it on
yeah,
as black people, and I'll say black people is that they have held on. You know when Bob
to
Marley
their
says, one love, one heart. Let me ask this question. It's a question. What would you do with someone who has hurt all mankind just to save his own
mm.
beliefs? If there is
But
one question I'd really like to ask,
yeah,
is there a place for the hopeless sinner
hopeless.
who has hurt all mankind just to save his own beliefs?
Mm,
It's when the Queen died that I've
mm,
interpreted that line in Bob Marley's song a very different way. Because
but
people
there,
will do. That's why I say Queen of Sheba and Queen Elizabeth clashed.
yeah,
Back in the day, kingdoms clashed. People enslaved people killed
yes,
people looted. And if one nation felt that the other nation was going to be a threat to them, that
mm,
nation would kill the other nation just to save his own beliefs and his own system.
mm,
It was the era that they lived in. And these British, what I say I
mm,
respect about them is that they have held on
yeah.
to their tradition and
Ah,
they have
now,
managed to maintain it.
no, yeah, this is where I want to. The Bob Marley song that came up to me though
Mhm.
was the one about "Don't Lose Your Culture." What's that song again? I love it so much when the guy's dancing. Don't lose your culture. You know that one?
Culture.
It's one of them about don't lose your culture, and that is something which you saw very evident
Mhm.
with the whole King Charles going around the country, Ireland,
Even the Queen's
Scotland.
Jubilee. I was if Jamaica were to celebrate their Africanness or their Jamaicanness, like the way I saw people coming out to celebrate their monarchy, I'd be very proud of them. I like to take the positives out of even our slave masters and their culture, in that they
Yeah,
preserve their buildings. You've seen the old British
yeah.
buildings; they don't just have
Mm.
the buildings.
They don't tear them
They don't
down.
tear them down. They
They make them listed
they
building.
list them, they build them, they
Yeah.
protect them. Now, our Jamaica, and I'm gonna not after 60 years, we are still. I am trumpeteering for the reparations in another form, and that's why I say it should come in another form. We can't get it together as a country. Um,
Mm.
the Queen was who she is. What happened. We need to focus on our black excellence as a country, as our brother had said before he departed. And we still
Yeah.
can't get it together. I mean, I've said that part of the problems that we have is as a result of slavery and the poverty that we face and getting it together as people. But however, though, I tend to look at the issue of governance and whether governance is
Mm.
good or whether governance is bad, and how, for example, professionals have to be literally leaving the island. Because I have
Yes.
some friends who curse me personally to the ground and say that they don't see why I would want to return to the hopeless, evil, awful place of Jamaica, because not now going for Jamaica. Why would you want to come back here? So yeah, so done for the whole of it left. Yeah, so, and in fact, I've got one person who hates me is very bitter and angry against me for wanting
Yeah.
to come back to my country to build it. People are resentful of people to want to come back from abroad. And when you come back from abroad, they
Mm.
feel that your proper place is to get out of the country because they want to go. And you have the
Mm.
opportunity and you come back. So they will make sure they get rid of you to leave. So nothing is building.
Mm.
As soon as the children are born, they are taught by their parents that foreign is better. And not that they have to deal with their economic realities, yes, but I just think the sense of unpatriotism amongst us as a people has to stop. Because if we do not become patriotic as a people and stand our
Mm.
ground and fight for our traditions, even the reggae music that we have, an American band, Soldier, one of the Grammy that we have our athletes, we have to hold on to that. And our music, we have to hold on to our tradition and what we have and build on it to capitalize for the economy. I see. Was it which football team was it that adopted the Jamaican T-shirts and that?
Yeah.
for them. I am saying a little factory should have been set up for things like that. It's our national symbol is being used, and a factory should have been so the whole of the world could start getting those types of t-shirts, and then the money should be going back to Jamaica. So I mean, we don't see our symbols, we don't hold on to our symbols because we hate our country, and we do not stand up to our politicians because we feel that let them do what they want because me can go a foreign. And if we never have nowhere to go, as we haven't learned even anything from the pandemic,
So,
because
so yeah.
when
So,
the
go on, keep talking, keep talking.
when
Yeah.
when the pandemic happened and the hospitals that they have, the politicians used to fly out, for example, and the wealthy to Florida. And when Florida hospitals were filled with COVID, they were worse than ours, and so on. They were in a worse situation. And the politicians and the people didn't want to go there. Then they realize that you've got to start building your own institutions and not thinking they can fly out minister so and so to Miami Hospital. You understand? So for me, our people are not holding our politicians accountable because we are busy looking to the east and looking to the west. For
I,
me, let the Queen rest in peace. I want to start on
yeah.
our politicians. Like,
I,
no, what are you
I,
doing?
I want to go back. I want to go back to that point about the traditions that the Brits hold on to no matter what. Because if you listen carefully at times, you hear these words, God save the king. You keep hearing God
Yes,
save the king. Hip hip hooray. Hip hip. And if you close your eyes, not that you we can remember, it is like going all the way back into history when they said God save the king, whereby when that guy came out and said shame on Prince Andrew or whatever like that, it wasn't the police that put him down. It was one of the people that put him down. Because
yes.
all the people started to say, God save the king. Now, when I listen to this. Ancestors worshipped. That is tradition. That's tradition, isn't it?
I wish you could make it bigger so that the people could see it, Silver, like you could get it on screen. Um, I wish you could get it bigger because what it is, I recognize it as being a
That's
church
that's
in
Bishop.
St. Thomas. In St. Thomas, they set a table and they are worshiping in a very African way, which is similar to our Church of God people worship. I recognize it very well. I think everyone can see it.
Yeah.
So you can see it's a table. And what
Yeah.
happened is that nowadays, if anybody see a table like that, they would run away from it. And all they have is some flowers, some water. They're around the table, and we would call it Obi, I would call it. But the closer I tend to watch that Pastor Campbell from St. Thomas, Poor Man's Corner, as I was raised in the Church of God, it's the more I see that he's more Church of God than anything else, except that he uses the African symbols and the Africans trusting. But those have been taken away from us. And if
So
some of us see a table like that now,
that
we
that
would run
that's
away.
that's the point. That's the point whereby, and someone was talking about it, whereby the clothes that one wear, it was deemed to be not
Someone
good
says he
clothes.
follows them. D. Samuel says he follows Pastor Campbell.
Oh yeah, man, D for the Pastor, look, Pastor Bishop Campbell,
What's the name of his church again, Silburn?
Mount Zion, something restoration, something,
Yeah.
yeah,
In St. Thomas, Poor
in
Man's
in
Corner.
St. Thomas. But that is holding on to legacy. That is holding on to history, isn't
Well,
it?
Pastor Campbell is the only person holding on to that because when you look at the genres of music that he's preserving in that church, is it mentor? What do you think it is, Silburn? What type of music is that? Where does it fall in our genre?
Yeah,
Our traditional music.
it's a. I mean, when they're going around sometime and they're spinning around, that's like the mentor thing, isn't it?
Mentor. And
Yeah.
mentor is gone, you know. Mentor is gone. Skia is gone. Rocksteady is gone. We're left with reggae, and reggae Grammy Award went to the Americans. So
Wow.
even the Ministry of Culture is not holding on to the reggae culturally speaking. The keeping of events. Somebody said it is satanic because if you cannot say it is satanic
Oh, he's
unless
saying it's satanic.
if you sit down for a month, if you sit down for a month and you watch Pastor Campbell from that, watch it. If you can get hold of the person and send it to them, and you and send it, and they watch it for a month, and after the 1 month, You tell me if you think it is still satanic. If you think it is so, I will buy it. But I felt that way, and I'm not revival in any way. And I used to run away from such things until what got me about the pastor was that he's young, and that he's always well dressed. And I said, let me watch this man, because I've been taught to run away and I've thought that these things are evil. But when I watched Pastor Campbell and I kept watching him for like 2-3 months, I said, you know something? It made me question our history, what we have let go, what we've held on to, and how we have been turned against anything that is African by virtue of the slavery and what it's done to us. In fact, the way that we worship now, Pastor Campbell uses water. Church of England sprinkle water. They use oil. They sprinkle olive oil. Pastor Campbell does not use blood sacrifice. The Church of England doesn't. So I'm saying that because it has some African elements, as soon as we hear the thrusting and we see the power, we run away.
So therefore, we do not love ourselves.
I wouldn't say that we don't love ourselves, but we are a product of what we have been taught. Yeah. And it's very difficult to unlearn things because, for example, even the Bible says you must be careful of winds of doctrine. So I personally am very careful about different religions and different doctrines because spirituality is not something that I fool around with very lightly. So I'm saying that, but if you look at the British and how they worship, they use oil, they use water, they use an altar, they use a cross. But when the black person does it, in terms of the water and the oil and the flowers, why are we being taken away from nature in terms of how we worship? You know, I had a friend that her son had, was it gallstone or one of them? And she said she had a dream that she saw a piece of ginger and turmeric and she thought it meant obia. And I said, my dear, ginger and turmeric are the healing powers for whatever he had, appendicitis. So the spiritual realm dreamt you and told you that he should have drunk the turmeric and the ginger. But because you associate nature with evil and pocomania and all of that, your son nearly died because he went to the hospital and nearly lost him because we have lost our spirituality as a people. We have been raped, and that's why the reparations is very important. And we need to look at Black excellence, look at what has been stolen from us, and we need to, because as Michelle is asking why she would think that, because she has been socialized into thinking that those things are what basics from Africa, what we learn. You wouldn't see a white person taking turmeric and ginger unless they got it from us. But you know, you if you go to Pastor Campbell, he would say to you, drink piece of ginger, whoa, and take some turmeric, woo, and spin and go around.
I must say that especially on a Saturday night or Sunday night or whatever, I listen to him, I watch him live, and I don't know. I don't know. For me personally, like, it is taking me back to a period where we never knew that, but it's somehow spiritually there's a connection.
I'm fascinated by him.
Yeah, but the thing about it is this: when I see them in their clean white clothes or red clothes or a different uniform, it reminds me of what I'd never experienced, slavery period, when after they came in from the field and in the night when they all get together, they're now in their own space. They're now trying to capture back Africa, trying to capture back their home. And now they're worshiping and they're singing. And
what is good now, they have the internet, so a lot of us can see that he's not doing anything untoward. You know, a lot before we wouldn't go into those buildings because we're like, oh my God, if we go in there, we're just gonna die. But now with the internet, I think I can watch him on my phone. I said, no, that won't come through the phone. I only see that the man is just worshiping in an African way.
Yeah, Vanessa, listen to me. A lot of things we have been taught is wrong and is bad when our ancestors grew up on it and lived it in Africa. Yeah. And I think you asked me this question one. Who made us worship like how we're worshiping now?
Yeah. And it's surely not the Africans, because the Africans worship. Somebody's asking what African has done for me. For example, for what Africa has done for me, I am a product of Africa. My life, my whole generational life began in Africa, right? And in Africa, there were people selling slaves. There were people buying slaves. and
maybe
people
Scotty's
had guns,
maybe
and we
Scotty's
had
white. Maybe Scotty's
no.
white. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he had his own experiences with his own people, because
True.
some of our own people have been taught evil, so they can only do evil.
Yeah.
And whatever we have learned in terms, if they can do this to us with our own religion, and we are afraid of it, can you imagine what they have done to us with each other? How they um how what they have done to
Culturalized.
us to hate each other, the
Mm.
level of, because even Africa, they try to talk about Africa as one. I don't see Africa as one. I see them as a great set of nations who are always spoke a different language, and always had their identity, and how always had different kings and rulers, just like you're saying the whole of Europe is England. I mean,
Yeah.
Africa was never, it's to lump Africa as one. It's one piece of land, but they've always had distinct cultures, and by virtue of merging everything together, because how would you want to merge all of Europe together because the people's skins are white? Why do you think you want to treat all people as black and do the same things to all of them, and do everything, even the way
Chief,
we've
yeah.
been treated?
Chief Curry just sent me a message a while ago, trying to get on, but lightning may have struck the tower. Lost power short while ago because there's rain up there. But the key thing though, when they were talking about the Rwanda policy that the UK was implementing or still in the process of implementing it under Liz Truss and under the new Home Secretary, I kept hearing this narrative. Why are you sending them back to Africa? And Mark, these people weren't from Africa, you know. Why are you sending them back to Africa? And I'm saying it gave the impression that Africa no good.
Well, if Africa is not good, Silburn, somebody
Yeah.
has made it not good. And they continue to make it not good by not giving back what they have stolen in terms of the infrastructure. They didn't steal money out of Africa, you know. When they went to Africa, they never took money out. They took gold, they took silver, they
Riches,
took things that could have
wealth.
contributed to they took people that could have contributed to the infrastructure. Now I want those infrastructures returned to Africa, and Jamaica. And that is why I say that the reparations has to take a different form, Silburn. It has to take and if Africa is not good, yes, there are some things about Africa is not good. There are some things about England that is not good, like the racism. I mean, why can't England get rid of racism, and why can't Africa get rid of poverty? I want all the politicians from England and all the ones from Africa to come tell me why you can't get rid of poverty and why I can't get rid of racism. Why? We've all got issues about us and things good and bad about us.
Do you need to educate me or somebody when she says it was banned and called Obia? It was banned?
Yeah. Well, Obia, you had the Obia Act in Jamaica. That was the beginning of our religion. D is right.
What's a ban?
It was.
What is banned? What is banned?
Obia was banned. She's spelling. Obia was banned.
It was okay. Typo.
You had an Obia Act in Jamaica, right? And the Obia Act.
Sorry, D, I understand.
I'm trying to see if I can pull up the Obia Act in Jamaica. Obia Act, Jamaica, and see what this Obia Act is about. So to see if we can, shed some light on what this. The act makes it illegal for a person to be practicing Obia, which defines as any person to effect any fraudulent or full purpose or for gain or for any purpose frightening any persons, uses or depends on to use occult means or pretends and to possess any supernatural power or knowledge. And we all know that Black people are supernatural. We're all supernatural and we're all spiritual. So that was the Obia Act, but they never, when their own priests are praying, when their own priests are praying to heal people, they are laying hands, they are sprinkling their own water. That was not by, or by praying for somebody. When the priest of the minister for England, Church of England, lays hands on you, isn't that possessing supernatural power? It was directly aimed at outlawing any aspect, because everybody know that when they wanted to get rid of, who was it again? it was one of them who which slave was it? When they wanted to get rid of the slave masters, they sprinkled some white powder and things like that. And nanny, everybody know that nanny they use a little bit what they call obia. They use spiritualism to summon down their gods at the time to get rid of the slave masters. Because believe me, if not for the African god, whoever that god is, the most high god, then those poor people without guns and it, how would they have gotten out of slavery? There has to be some supernatural being. And I could understand why some people would want to outlaw supernaturalism in terms of Black spirituality, because you can't call on your God. You'll forever be slaved. And that's why we have the Maroons today, and the ancestors doesn't want Chief Curry to come on today. Maybe the ancestors say that he should be celebrating whatever they are going to be doing, whatever they should be celebrating as Maroons. And whatever has divided them as Maroons, they should be celebrating the death of that. And then, perhaps he's to come on next week.
Yeah, because I mean, and one of the things when I was speaking to him today was the whole issue about, how can there be unity at this time? And I was listening to some different interviews with Dion Jackson Miller, with two other persons. I think it was with Danielle and another person who is opposing. And I'm just saying, Venice, when I look at it, I said, such a shame that we are so fighting against each other. That is why sometimes the white man don't actually do nothing and just carry on doing what they do.
It has always been to the white man's agenda, isn't it? Yeah. Because if you look at some things that are going on, even all right, let me tell you some things. The world is political. Even white people fight against white people for their own aims. You had European Union, England was a part of it. England left because they want to rule themselves, and people divide the world into little places because they want to rule themselves. So it is the same thing amongst us, where there is politics, and people will do what it is to fight their own corner. And yes, there can be unity, and we have to make an effort for that.
Yeah.
But we have to see the hidden. I will speak some things on behalf of Chief Curry, whether the phone lines have been shut down on him deliberately or not. I will speak some things on behalf of him tonight. I will say that, for example, in relation to the Maroons, be not surprised that there's going to be hidden hands who are dividing the Maroons, and you won't see them. Just like hidden hands, if Europe tries to unite, there's hidden hands who is dividing Europe, because some people think Europe represents, for example, incorporating colored people, and they want to have British all white, so they want to get rid of Europe. They forgot that, for example, Europe was about food and cheap cigarettes and cheap booze and cheap holiday, but because they're letting in some black people, some people decided to use that to get rid of Europe, and now everything is gone up in the roof and there's problems. Same thing with the Maroon. Some people now want to divide the Maroons so that they can get him, because Chief Curry, I heard somebody say all him do is cornrow up him here. So a black man style that cornrow a black man. If Chief Curry want to cornrow him here,
actually, if we know our history, the whole cane roll thing was a strategy of when they used to have secret passageway or whatever like that. They use that, and what if he wants to do that?
A bad mind him because him good looking and young as a chief, So I heard somebody say it came out from the post down there saying that him and this all came from the fact that Chief Curry come out and he spoke out about some things with the government. I heard on the news, this is public, that the Prime Minister went down there, and from the Prime Minister got down there. You have to understand with the Maroons that are done, it's not that they're against Chief Curry, but if the government wanted to surround that place and had a mass killing, the Maroons of now are not envisaging that. They are not structured to fight an internal enemy, and you would have a mass killing. So those people would say, Curry, we love you, but we probably think they have to stop. We going to talk to Andrew differently, because if he decide to kill we out, we're not going to play no hero no more. Them nanny business, they're done. And Chief Curry, you want to come back with the nanny thing, because Chief Curry, him a nanny pick me, and he behave like a Miss Nanny. When she said when the crack road to the east, he might behave like a Miss Nanny and Paul Bogle and they see him symbolically as a real threat, and the others don't want to bear the consequence of that. So it's not that them really taking the government side, but them tend to want peace because them afraid. And now Chief Curry now, if you're not careful, or Jamaica people stay, them we try to push you one side because just trouble for them.
Let's look at what Sophie Thompson McCoy says. I would run. It looks very revivalist to me, and based on what I was exposed to. Work on that. Where I was exposed to. Isn't this one of the atrocities of the misinformation over the years, whereby our history has been ripped away? It is not just the jewels, it is not just the diamonds, but it's the spirituality and the culture which has also been raped. How do you have reparation for your culture and your religion and your spirituality?
You know how
it's not just
take that. I have an answer, Silburn. That man look at church now, would I need some money to build up the church bigger and get more exposure? I've sent you a link to one of his worships. I don't know. See there, Silburn. Can you play one of the links? I send you one of the link to Pastor Campbell. If people could just see how the things or what him doing. You know, all the
WhatsApp it to me. WhatsApp it to me.
Okay.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah. It's on Facebook. It's in your Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
So it's probably easier to play.
Yeah. Keep talking while
I was just saying that with Pastor Campbell, you have to sit down and watch him. You have to watch him because we were programmed to hate each other. You know them people there. And the closer I get to African people, I must let you all know that my son says he's quarter British, quarter Nigerian, and half Jamaican. My son is an African prince. He's a Yoruba. He's Yoruba. I went to Africa to get my king, my prince. Yeah. I went back to my roots. So I've got a very handsome prince from Africa. So somebody asked process. Somebody asked what I got from Africa. I could tell you I got a son. I got a son, a very handsome boy, very tall, and he's been raised the African way. He's very respectful, very decent, very brilliant. Yes, he eats African food. I eat African food, and I believe I personally, on a personal level, went back to Africa because I felt, and I do a bit of music, and what I do is that I've gone to make collaborations with some of the artists in Africa, and some of my songs are produced there. I try to trade with Africa as much as I can because I know that Babylon will always stop Black people from trying to unite. So but I'll tell you though, there's no place like Jamaica to me though.
Yes.
No place. I'm somebody who loves Jamaica more than anyone else. If Silburn could get the clip up with Pastor Campbell, you could watch him. And
what's it? It's not coming. What's the ministry again?
Mount Refuge. Triumph Church. MT.
Okay, yeah. Let me look for it that way there. Mount Refuge.
And then you could see him. But how I would take reparations for Pastor Campbell is that him have a little church and him put up some cloth in there, and I hear him preaching before that. I don't know what kind of wobia cloth them talk about, but that piece of cloth represent east. That one represent west. And there was one time when you were red, black, and green, and he said he was having a feast. And the feast represented all the national colors, and it was so beautiful to watch him. And him preach, him talk about all the kind of preaching that all the other church, except him put a little water and flowers. You see, you gotta watch. You have to watch him to be able to make a judgment. You have to watch him. But we have been programmed that way, and it is so sad that even we have not been even successful in implementing modern culture. Take the Obia thing away. Look at the reggae. In China, they have 100 and odd languages, and if one of the languages in China is dipping, they pump money into that language to keep it afloat, despite the fact that it's a minority language. Let's apply that now to the reggae music. Ska has gone, Rocksteady has gone. It's only Pastor Campbell alone keeping mentoring in church. That has gone. And the Ministry of Culture, let me not say minister because we've had successive ministers, have not done anything. We have reggae now and an American band. America chose to keep the reggae. Reggae is a spiritual music, Reggae represents black spirituality. You know why they kept the reggae for themselves? If they gave the reggae to Japan, for example, it would mean a real battering for us symbolically, because the we can hear it.
Hold on.
We can't.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can.
So
If I can
we
get out.
The reggae is spiritual and symbolic. So the Americans kept the reggae for themselves, because if you look at the structure of the Naras, the Grammy, oh, there it is. It's up now.
Yeah, let me just see if I can play a bit. Yes, interesting. I mean, yeah. What do people think about that? Interesting what people think about this, because as somebody said, it is look like Opie, revivalist, and all those sort of things there.
As I was saying, you see, Naras. I'll go back to Naras. The role of Naras, which is part of the Grammy Academy, is to preserve the heritage of music. So they preserve the heritage of different types of music, American, non-American music. So that's the role of Naras, to preserve the history of music, and they're a museum. And then you have the Academy, that is an award body. Now, Naras saw that Jamaica, for example, Jamaica's reggae, when the artists submit the reggae fits into world category, because the music, even the roots reggae, is dying out. A lot of us artists don't want to go on the people the Jamaicans are not listening to it, but it's internationally sought after. Other nations of artists are singing the roots reggae. They are getting awards. They are getting the bookings. We have gone away from it. Jamaica poor. How can you afford to have other artists from other countries taking over your culture, taking over your symbol? One of the biggest hits in reggae now, upcoming artist, is a lady from Trinidad called Queen Omega. And you have Marcia Griffiths, you have Etana and them, but she's one of the ones who was on all the reggae festivals, holding up the roots reggae, and she's a Rasta woman, and for pipe, ganja pipe long down on the ground, and she's everything that would emanate Jamaican symbolism as it gets her ahead in terms of her music. And probably she is serious about her black spirituality in ascribing to the Rastafari role. And what Naras did, what the Grammy did, they took the Grammy and kept it for themselves, because it looked better for them, for America, to take it than for go to Trinidad or Japan. Now, if we continue to leave our national symbols careless, we are going to find that it's not going to just go to America, and it's going to look disgraceful. And I am surprised that by now the Minister of Culture, she's congratulated Soldier, and I congratulate them. But I'm surprised by now that our national symbols are being used and taken over. Our symbols that makes us black and excellent in music is being taken over and be utilized, and other people are capitalizing on it, and nothing is and the Ministry of Culture has not one iota, not one professor has written about this issue and how we're gonna solve it, and how our black excellent signal, somebody says it makes them want to dance. And the athletes, we've got to guard them. They seem to be happy, they seem to be kicking at home and we're running and thing, but the music is gone. The music is going away from us. One of the things Jamaica known for is music. So how as a culture, I'm sounding an echo. How as a culture are we protecting what is Jamaican? What is our symbol? The Queen is the crown, and she has stolen Joe's jewelries, and they have decided to keep it, and she's gonna die with it. No, you sit down there giving away your thing. The Queen, some of the things was given to them, some was stolen. So what are we doing about the reggae? The reggae is our biggest jewelry. What are we doing about it?
Mm.
How are we treating our athletes? How are we treating our citizens who are our jewelry?
Yeah.
When you speak about the Queen, what about the classism in Jamaica? That is symbolism. Are we treating each other as equals? Is it that you live up on the hills and you don't? Why are we still having ghettos in Jamaica today? Why people live in a sync-up place? Why people don't have enough space to talk to each other and to play? Them can't play because there is no good part there, and the gully bank is where them play. What are the things that is really stopping us from being black and excellent? Yes, the Queen and the symbolism and the slavery is one, but the little something them where we have. Me I talk about it in a patois. The little things them where we have. The little reggae music where everybody in it know it just gone.
Yes.
Or we are look about that. We have the national studio from the Ministry of Culture or the artists them are
Is there a national studio?
no, and the reggae station them if most of the artists them know people are, if you give a song to a radio station, some of the artists them complain, so them don't even hear them playing them. So if Jamaica not playing reggae and the young artists them, right, the new artists them will come, the whole heap of talent. For most, me I talk about this because music is the thing tie up, you know. Music is reggae is black spirituality. It's a black symbol. Bob Marley was a symbolic man, black X. If you want to talk about a great Jamaican, you have to talk about the heroes them, and Bob Marley is one of the biggest symbols. Me want to ask now, how we protect this thing? We don't have the national symbol, the national studio. The radio station them now play the new artists them are international people about them. And when some of us out to bus abroad, before you know it, when you look the woman them at Jamaica don't even want the Rasta man, them call them say them a dirty head Rasta man, them foot dirty and them head dirty, full of party leg. So them go and them married woman from other race. Bob Marley did gone with other people. And then the music now them have the half cast speak to them. The band them white get half cast and white and the whole thing stretch out now and the little aisle we still are so fine now. With music they abroad and make other people money and we are sweet hungry. What happened, Babsy? I don't more have to ask Babsy. What happened? The artist them, me have a friend, you know, the man talented, so till him can't get no help, him hungry. Most of the Rasta man them a turn rent a dread. Don't go when foreigner come and rent them for them body. There's a whole heap of things that go on in Jamaica, you know, and them sell them body. And I saw them get like a break for the like a music and have like a food because we look on people who represent black symbolism. If a man not, if me not feel like on my ear and my ear, if me feel like tight up on my ear, me black and he hear everything about me black, he me want roll it, make it roll it. Why is it that we're treating even the Rasta people them amongst us, people with natural ear? You're going to our workplace with natural ear sometime at Jamaica. Them want to, yeah, talk about the Queen. The Queen represents our culture with our curls and our pearls. How are we treating the black ladies? How are we treating the Rasta man? How we are treating the dark skinned people? How we are treat people because to all me see them two party, the type of people them we are around them are elitists. Basically, no matter where we go a foreign, them want we go on a foreign, we want we go on to the Queen's country. So we go on the Queen's country now, then no matter if you are asleep on ground, if the farm workers them get treated like dogs, and you send back the money come home, right? And you send back the money now, the government get the remittance. So them not care if the whole country come out and go on. So me want to ask them, when you talk about the Queen, how is it that you're treating your citizens? It's coming like them not create a climate for citizens who want to live at Jamaica. In fact, them want to run you out of there. The more brain you have, the more you think you can run a country with guns? You think you can
But
run people?
you're speaking from experience in certain. Hello, you're speaking from experience in certain ways at the same time, Venice.
Yes, I am.
Where you want to engage back. But I tell you something else which I saw recently, which was really concerning, was that there was a young man who got killed in the carnival. Don't know if you heard about that guy who was into drill music. I think it was, I don't know, it was maybe some gangs or whatever like that or whatever. Anyway, he got stabbed and killed in carnival. I've not heard any vigil about him or anything since. And then there was another young man who got killed by the police, Chris Cabba, and I mentioned it. And lots of demonstration going on amid, because of racial and racism and the brutality of the police. And the saying is no justice, no peace. No police, racist, or no police, something like that. No racist, police. The point about it is this. I think we've got to reach to a point now whereby we have to home in onto our community, home in onto our people, and try to close ranks there where we are building each other and strengthening each other at the time. So therefore, if remember, I'm a child care lawyer, if a child is removed from a family or a mother because of risk of significant harm to that child, there are different options. One, rehabilitation to the mother, to the family, based on assessment, parent assessment, psychological assessment, psychiatric assessment, parenting work. Two, that child can go into foster care. Three, that child can go to alternative family members. Or four, that child can be adopted if they're of adoptable age. The big thing now is this. I think what we need to do as Black people, we need to have parallel action, parallel thinking. For those who want reparation and champion for reparation and for the apology, no problem. But while you're going for that, build yourself at the same time. So if you come or not, you're not gonna lose.
Don't depend on no foreign people, because you might never
Don't
get
wait,
it back, Silburn.
don't wait for it. Don't wait for it.
And if we're going to stop there every time for look back and say, "But wait, you owe me," and I'm gonna sit on 40 years. No, I'm. That's why I'm asking what you have, what God bless you with. What are we doing? And you speak about it. I was at the bus stop the other day, and only to see one police draw down right in England here. And him stop him go for two picky when him call picky head boy, two black boy, where them head look bumpy. Yes. And him said the two of them for come. So you know me fast Silburn. So me me walk back way. If I see one Jamaican, I walk one fast Jamaican, I walk back way. So me walk back way and just catch side of the
you're back, reverse back, reverse back.
Catch back, so and just turn up at the van door. And him said, him daddy and him a do. And him said, there's a lot of stabbing, and I suspect them of knife crime. And I don't answer him. So when him said, me now move on, me not answer him, Him state again, I said, I understand, I've got a master's in law. Yeah. Me say to him, so when me look now, the boy chooses it, they don't have me. And him ask him for him bag. So hear me to the police, and I say, officer, since you engaged me into speech, you're taking over the school role. It's not your place where his bag is. That's for the school principal and the teacher. Anyway, you find anything on him? So anyway, I said, boy, drop your pants and me take over, tell the police, excuse me, I'm haul up the two of them pants. I said, next time when the pants must help you. So the police say, well, this one is doing. So me get the police attention now. So anyway, me now going to the shop and me selling for one of them yard. When me look, me see the boy, them a wait for me. So me say, me not tell them for go. Me they won't wait, they'll still standing. So me not tell them for going on the yard. When me look, me couldn't understand why them not gone them here. The police still after me gone, them things say me gone. Still I wait for them at the bus stop. Now know say the boy them sell up outside of the shop with me cause them say me is like a bad girl. So so me say to them, say the officer, me pass say, officer, good evening, how you doing? You stop down here, so me carry the boys home. Come on, wanna come. And me carry them, go drop them right in them yard. And me wait home with them. Me say to them, look here. You see them here there? Fix up on yourself, right? Because when you know live in a society with them stereotype with, suppose me never come there. Them would have locked you up or kill you or do whatever. And all the pants now, why your trousers they are the way down on your knee? I wish for your. So I say to them, say what you want to study. One of them say, I want to turn footballer. So I say, I see you can come for your ear and dress, you want to dress because them not have to do nothing. But the next one, I say, I want to study law. I say, your trousers have to come up here. You have to go sit. We say, come. Me can start teaching the law from now.
His trousers may have to come up even up to his chest.
So I took the conversation over, and I now have them two little boys as my friend. When the other day I see them say them I go football, but them trousers never look that way. Them look more tidier because and them call to me, I auntie. We have to take charge of our community. And I'm telling you, I wasn't the only black person. Them pass the police harass the boy them because those boys were not guilty of anything. They had 10 dozen picnics stand up there. I wait pambos and them chicken and chips at the chicken and chip shop. And you choose to take out the two of them ear now. What you want with the boy them ear because it look nappy? What you want with them ears? All because of their identity. And those are the kind of things. You apply for a job in this country, Them give you an ethnic minority form to fill. And I am putting this out there tonight, which is a subject that I want Mr. Sidia's help with and the people on this program. You apply for a job. Them ask if you're hermaphrodite, if you're gay, and I don't have no problem with those ones because for them people that affect, that is them. But what the one I have a problem with? Why you asking me black Caribbean, white Caribbean, and this? Because if you are truly racist, right? That is not monitoring. You are going to use that data at that stage. You wouldn't even get to know Vanessa or Silburn.
Yes.
Because you're going to use it in a prejudicial manner. So it's like a kid in a candy store throwing petrol and fire.
They need to stop it. They need to stop that thing.
So we need to have a campaign. We need to have a campaign in England here that is going to discontinue the use of ethnic minority monitoring at that level. If you really want to monitor an employer, you go in at the end of the year and see how many black people he's got. You can't be saying this data collection is being used by everyone, right? Because I run the talk with a white employer this week who I had to meet to discuss, and him said, "You see, I don't do them things." And he said, "Why?" I said, "Why don't you do?" Him say, "Because I deal with people not because of color, but because if them real or not." But I said, he said he couldn't understand why we have a Black History Month. And I said, "You don't understand because you're not racist." I said, for example, I threw this question out to him about the ethnic minority monitoring at the start of the application process. He says, well, he thinks it's a load of bollocks because it's gonna be used negative. And if a white person can't say that, Silburn, how come me and you sit on here and it's still a go? And that need to go, and we need to root it out. We need to write a letter to Charles about it.
Well, Charles, all they got to do is when he writes it to Charles, send a pen with him. Send a pen with him too.
I know me, I'm going to write it to the whole way. I'm going to start a campaign because it affects, if you lose your job now, you're going to go through that process. And it's very demeaning. You're asking me if I'm Black Caribbean or white Caribbean. What does it have to do with the quality of my brain?
Yeah.
Why do I need this to get the job? Why do I need to fill this? You wouldn't even meet me. Why don't you just interview me and see if you like me as a person? You might just like me even though I'm Black. But and the institutional racism in England, how I see it is affects employment. You know, in America and so on, them you will get good job even if you're Black, they don't like you and they have them form of racism. But here, so in England, the institutional racism affects the level at which Black people are employed, how far they can get. And it's if you're not doing cleaning job or you're not doing care job where you wipe people backside or you stand up in a store or you're a security guard, if you do a count with most of the people that are around you, see if they're in any top jobs in England. When you speak about Black excellence is not doing well in England at the moment, and England is not Black excellent in terms of how they are treating people, in terms of access to employment and so on. It seems as if they would prefer to people to be on the benefit system. Yes. It seems that because it makes them feel better because now
and it's a controlling factor whereby you're now on handout.
Yeah, you're not going to get the CEO position. If you want the cleanest position, it's available. You want to clean us, that's available too. You want to turn a security guard, that's available too. And a lot of institutional race employment related, and a lot of people stay on the benefit system, and a lot of them become bipolar. And then they blame us and say we're committing crime and we're taking drugs and selling drugs. But that's an economic crime. And Jamaican people, for example, you're going to have an island of crime with drugs with me because we not clean up floor, white nobody, and we not take no liberty. So you'll find Jamaicans behaving very different.
My good friend Julian Hall, he does this program called Ultra. Don't know if you ever heard about the Ultra program. Ultrapreneur, he's an Ultrapreneur. And he's actually working along with lots of youths, young children, them who are entrepreneurs, trying to get them to be entrepreneurs. You know what I'm trying to say? And he's doing a fantastic job because he's molding them from they were small. And then while he's molding them when they are small, guess who is also getting interested as well?
Ooh.
The parents.
Yeah.
The parents of the children getting interested. Because what we are seeing and what we have seen happen since the whole lockdown is that people, the cushion that they had, the comfort zone which they had was pulled underneath them. And that's why one of the things I kept saying all the while is that when you're in a lockdown period and you're actually learning some new skills, creating new jobs, and you stopped when everything sort of opened back up, you need to get back and do those things and get back on top of the creative energy, because you know if anything happens again, whoosh.
Because you know what we're facing now. You see a lot of job advertised. There's a lot of people out of jobs because of
Yes.
COVID, and now the issue of race is even more prevalent than ever. Because
Yeah.
if there are limited jobs, even though you see them advertising, a lot of people are going for them because of the high numbers of unemployment. And that is when you have polarism and racial bias is on the rise now, because it's a scarce benefit and spoils that we are now in as a global economy, and England is no different. And the excellence of Black people has to be discussed. That's what this program is about how
Yes.
is
Yes.
it that because I tell you what, yes, opening up businesses, I'm saying yes, I'm all for that, but I am also saying that if my son is born here and I have papers and you have papers, I don't see why my skin color should be monitored before I get an interview, and my skin color should, by virtue of an employment process that is legal,
Yeah.
is making them discriminate against me. So I now want to outlaw that practice by all employers that no ethnic minority monitoring. I don't know about whether you change your sex, because there are legalities in changing one sex from one to the other from which they were born, and dynamics
Yeah.
of that. I don't know how they want to treat that. But for me, I can't change my skin color. People can even change their sex. I can't change my skin color. So why do you want to use this against me? So,
But you can.
there we
You
go.
don't have to change your sex. You don't have to change your sex. You just go fluid. You just come in and out. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm saying something that we cannot change.
Yeah, I know.
It's
I
been
know.
used against us. So
Yeah.
that must.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just to say that why I keep going on my phone is that I've been in communication with Chief Curry. He's having some difficulties there, but I'm like you, Vanessa. The right time will always be the right time.
Yeah.
And so like that.
And sisters want to give this weekend a break. They want the Queen to rest in power.
They want the Queen to rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yes.
So therefore, when Tuesday morning come and when next weekend come,
we'll put pressure upon Charles.
Yeah,
King Charles.
we will have questions for when is the king coming into power, because he has to go through a ceremony and that.
Yeah, he's gonna have a coronation, but he's by default he's a king or
No,
king.
I mean another default things. I mean, because he will use the technicalities to get out of his duties, We don't know Charles will want to be no king, but him a king now, so me want to hear from him.
So what are you talking about is that you want to get when he's fully,
yes,
so he can't say he can't say I'm the elected.
Never say he know Charles. He tell me about this dialogue business. All the money where me want some road. Me have 150 bad road down in Jamaica, and the train like me have a whole list of something. Yeah, me want this whole heap of land plant up, Me want you send down some whole heap of farm worker from England. Send down some white picnic or people come plant up them land. I say to Elizabeth, me I want some people down in the island there. I want free workers down there.
Yes.
Volunteers to plant up the land. Reparations.
It is something that because like next week I have this young guy. He's 17 years of age and he creates lots of things and he's creating his own business. And I'm having him on the show next week Tuesday on Instagram on an impromptu moment, because what I want to do is to, we can focus on different things, and I want to focus on some excellent young men, young women who are doing things, because we have a choice. Am I not right, Vanessa? We have a choice where we focus on.
Oh yeah, we choose one what we want to we pick out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm see if I can put up a picture of him. Young guy. What? Young guy who is what is it? He's 17 years of age. Mm-hmm. There he is. 17 years of age. The flyers even out there, impromptu moment. And his name is Anderson.
Yeah.
Anderson.
Mm-hmm. Let's see him.
Parents are Jamaican or Jamaican parentage. Young boy, And so therefore they need the high level of encouragement to show the excellence. And that's why I'm saying let nothing blocks us. Even if there's something that blocks you, you use that block as something that you can step upon.
Yeah, building blocks. And
let it be building block.
Yeah, use it as building block and build block and climb up in the air.
Yes. Yeah. And instead of saying the sky is the limit, you say the sky is the start. Simple as that. Bingo. Listen, Vanessa, we had a good chat, and Chief, and it's very interesting. Somebody said a while ago, what? White button the kiosk.
Well, if you're getting good pay for it, but that if other people want to do other things, they should be able to do it. Why do you want to confine us to that?
Yes.
It's all about choice,
Yes.
but you haven't got a choice in a system that discriminates against you and tells you what to do. You got the business, you white bottom man, me a CEO because me a white. Rubbish.
Yes. You're right, and I think we're gonna follow up back on that thing, because I never sometimes feel in that bit there, because they always say it's optional. There's a bit where it says it's optional as well.
There are some employers that when they design the form, if you don't fill it, your application will not go through. Or you see them a sneak it to you and ask you if you want. You're not. It's not supposed to factor at all, because we don't have them things in Jamaica. And you apply for your job, we have other issues, but and you go get your job. But them countries that have multi-racial, because they want to pull up the place with A and not B, and so on. That's what they do. They monitor
you know, one of the first places that I work with in the UK, the agency I was with did not put your race. They did not put your sex. So when I was hired for that job, the manager said to me, maybe like a year after, can I say something to you? When we got the application in, we said, let's get the girl. Let's take the girl. Because my name sounded like a girl.
And you see, if them, and they got a nice worker, if only they weren't allowed to discriminate. So they let the person and not the sex. Why do you want to do all of that? What's the matter?
They actually said, let's get the girl. And they were shocked when they saw, but they liked me, and I was
the problem is that this thing was meant for good, but these people have cleverly been using it for an improper purpose. Yeah. So therefore, the whole thing, I forget, scrap. It needs to be looked at. Can't continue.
Well, we got a new king, we got a new prime minister, and we got a new commissioner of police. So therefore, they're all fresh. Let's get them to work.
Yeah. King Charles, I have a whole heap of things for you, darling. I blow him a kiss. This lady coming.
And also the Prince of Wales as well.
Oh, yes. The new prince.
Nice to see.
No, I'm a proper Jamaican, and I'm a beat all Naya being drunk. I'm a bono tal Babylon.
Yeah. This was nice to see this side of Vanessa. You really vibed up the place today. Because nobody never about if it.
No politician, you know, say me not like the politician. They haven't touched them.
There was nobody that if we rip apart. You know?
And the politician, I'm a friend them, you know, but me and them quarrels still. But I'm a friend them, you know. Not cannot go them. We see what we tell us to let them.
We did it. We did a 2-hour run. You know, we did a 2-hour run and great interaction with everybody else. Do apologize for Chief Curry not on, but don't worry, it will happen. You know, we just keep going on and so like that.
But there is always the army. I walk out the army. Okay, somebody saying can't go to the army, can't go do army work too.
Who is that?
The light speaker. He say can't go join the army too.
Okay, yeah.
We too old to join army enough. Many them gone bad.
Yes. Vanessa, listen. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody. Nice show.
Nice show. And remember that nothing block black excellence. No Monarch.
No, black excellence all the way. And rest in power, grandmother of the black children of Meghan Markle and Harry. A big queen that, you know, big respect queen. Granny a black people. Yeah, man.
Yes.
Salute.
So she presided over, she left her legacy then.
Yeah, she left her and the woman she take the jewelry with them because she really wanted to be African. Them the crown that shining out African jewelry. What do you, Silver?
So ladies and gentlemen, there's another side to it with Queen Elizabeth, the late Queen Elizabeth. The reason why she wanted the jewels because she wanted to be an African.
Yeah, queen. Some African leaders still are especially them African man were like pretty woman, because you know the queen was very pretty and nice. You say, give them your heart and make you look good. Hey God!
Vanessa, have a good one. So, take care. Alright? See you around. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining tonight. And it was a good show. Unfortunately, Chief Curry didn't come out tonight. There's some rain in Jamaica and cats and electricity outage. But hey, at least we are now in contact, and I communicate with him regular. So we will have some more conversation on that. Not everything is going to happen at the same time. Thank you for Light Speaker, D, and everyone else who was on the show. Scotty, you need to come on the show one time. Let us, even if it is to put up a picture or put up a Paddington bear. Is it Paddington or whatever? Put up a Paddington bear and just talk, or even get a voiceover thing or something like that, and share your views and to everybody. Madame Tussauds. I worked at Madame Tussauds some time ago, but it wasn't Madame Tussauds. you know, it wasn't Madame Tussauds. Actually, when I was at Madame Tussauds, I was one of the first black guys at Madame Tussauds. When I first came to the UK, I came to the UK in 1992. Lovely place, lovely. I still have contacts there. I left there just a little bit. Yeah, great place. Okay, peace out. Have a good night. Remember to like and subscribe. Those on Instagram as well. Thank you very much. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.